Welcome to Unleashed Opinion, boldly challenging the powers that be while keeping liberals in their place with conservative ideals and common sense solutions.
Are we on your... Hello, folks. Welcome to the Unleashed Opinion. We are live and worldwide once again. Got Deacon in the house with me tonight, so we're looking
he's
good.
all messed up here.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you looked in the mirror?
Imagine that.
What are you doing over there?
I don't know.
Oh, good.
Do I ever know what I'm doing?
Not usually, no.
Yeah, we're on here. Let me make sure this is down, though.
Oh, boy.
There we go. It's gone.
Okay. Big thank you out to our men and women in the armed services doing what they do, fighting for our freedom, even for people they don't particularly care for, especially some of these politicians. So,
Yeah, no doubt.
you know, it takes a lot of courage and intestinal fortitude to put your lives on. Oop, that's not supposed to happen.
Oh, now you're always barking at me for leaving my volume on.
That's not supposed to happen.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
that's fixed.
You know, I can't do anything with him, folks.
Yeah, somebody should be happy about that.
He's getting old.
We're getting them there. Big thanks to John, too, for putting everything together for us. We got everything up and running after our big move here, so we're doing well. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll give a big shout out to all of our law enforcement personnel, first responders, EMTs, 911 dispatchers. You know, we can't say enough about what you guys do. We are so thankful for you as well. And on that note, if you guys haven't heard, up in Avon, Illinois, there was just an police officer that was shot just not more than an hour ago. Some individual has themselves barricaded in their house. The law enforcement personnel has the house surrounded. This officer was life flighted to the hospital. Unfortunately, we heard just on the way here that the officer has passed away. So give big prayers and everything for that officer and his family. And, you know, these are the things that our law enforcement personnel go through, even up in Avon, Illinois. It's just not a very big town at all, but things can still go awry, and things like this happen, and we don't know what's going on, why the person is barricaded in the house, but it is, and you know, it's a tragic situation.
yeah, and you know, I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, well, we need to ban more guns, but how about we just ban idiots?
Well, I'd like that.
I mean,
I would definitely like that.
because that's where our problem is at. It's not with guns. Guns are a tool. Big thank you out to our listeners out there, people who send us text messages and such. Had some stuff come in this week is pretty good. Greatly appreciated. The guys out there in the garage are Route 125.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're pretty good guys.
You
know.
betcha.
And we thank them all for what they did for us last week. you know.
Yes, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I kind of like pork chops, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, if you went away hungry, that was your fault.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Cindy Lovecamp, Brian Days, you're out there. Dave Arns, thanks for joining.
You betcha.
Linda Walker's out there, awesome.
Sweet. The Fulton County Connection, I believe they're out. Well, I know one of them's out there for sure.
Oh, boy. Everybody in the Illinois Department of Corrections, we thank you for what you do, because it is definitely a thankless job. We lived it for 20 some odd years, and
Glad to get away from it.
yes, we are.
Did you get the first responders already? Because I wasn't listening to you,
Yes,
because
yes,
that's what I do.
See, Steve doesn't listen to me, folks.
Yeah, like I'm the only one that doesn't listen to him, right?
Yeah. It's like I've been married for almost 29 years. I'm sprinting. She doesn't listen to me now. So. Kidding.
You better say kidding.
Well,
You'll be in
she doesn't-
trouble.
She doesn't listen to the show, so we're good.
Yeah,
We're all
well, somebody may tell her about it.
Yeah, that's possible. That is very possible.
Hey, also a reminder here, there's a Second Amendment meeting, town hall meeting for Sangamon County. It's July 13th at 2 to 4 p.m. at Destiny Church, which is 2423 South MacArthur Boulevard in Springfield, Illinois. So if you get the chance to go to that, we went to that one in Shields last time. It was a pretty good meeting.
Yeah, it was good.
Everybody was respectful, and there was no stupidity going on. Everybody's on the same page, wanting to keep our Second Amendment up and going, because there's individuals out there who don't seem to like us having our Second Amendment.
Well, they
So,
can't control you then.
No, absolutely. So if you get a chance, again, that's Saturday, July 13th from 2 to 4 p.m. at Destiny Church. It's 2423 South MacArthur Boulevard in Springfield, Illinois. So
Yeah, and this thing we were at is Shields. You know, nobody crapped anywhere. Nobody left trash anywhere. You know, everybody was pretty well respectful in what was going on. Listened to everybody talk. So
unlike the Occupy Wall Street movement that was out there a few years ago.
the Occupy Something Street movement. Hey, you're never too old out there, folks.
Uh-oh.
Most of you that know me, know I'm an avid weightlifter and things like that. Got Smitty coming to the gym now with us. It's like we say, you're never too old. I mean, unless you absolutely cannot physically do something, or you have something going on with you mentally that you can't do anything, you really have no excuse other than being damn lazy.
Oh.
Have a
the L
video.
word.
Yeah, the L word. I have a video here of a 103-year-old lady
Oh,
still
yeah.
running track.
It's pretty amazing.
103-year-old lady. I think she owns some world records. So roll that beautiful bean footage there, John.
I thought it'd be neat to run at 100 and do the 100-yard dash. I hope I'm inspiring them to be healthy and to realize you can still be doing it at this kind of an age if you keep yourself busy and active most of your life.
Is that amazing or what?
You ain't kidding.
There's no excuse. I mean, there's times when I get to the gym, it's just like, man, I really don't want to do this today, And then I think about people like her. I think about people like my buddy Brian Days, who's over in Rushville right now getting a blood transfusion. Because he's been battling acute myeloid leukemia for like 4 years. The guy's got a heart of a champion, the heart of a freaking warrior.
Super good guy. Really
And
like him.
and I think about guys like that when I start to whine and cry about maybe aches and pains and stuff like that. Then I think about people like this. So, that keeps me going, keeps me pushing on, as
Yep.
REO Speedwagon used to say. So.
Yeah, make sure your problems look kind of minor, don't they?
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, this whole abortion thing, that kind of gets me all riled up. And you got these countries and people thinking that Down syndrome kids should be aborted, because, oh my gosh, it'll just ruin people's lifestyles, and yeah, and I get it. They got to be tough to take care of, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world for them. I know Down syndrome kids who go to Special Olympics and do things like that. And I got this article on this young Down syndrome girl. She's a Washington, D.C. teen who just made history last week when she became the first student with Down syndrome to graduate with a full high school diploma from the D.C. public schools. And, you got a lot of people out there that don't graduate high school that doesn't have Down syndrome.
Right, exactly.
Madison Essig is her name. She graduated with a 3.7 GPA, National Honor Society honors, and her mother had to fight to ensure her daughter had that opportunity. This is according to Fox 5 News. Her mom, Kimberly Templeton, and said doctors told her that Madison might not ever read or write. She's graduated school with honors, but she refused to give up on her daughter, which is fantastic. She is headed to college where she plans to study disability and advocacy policy through George Mason University's LIFE program. Her story is an example of the potential to succeed in every child. Tragically, some do not see this value and potential in children like Madison while they are still in the womb. Parents frequently report that doctors pressured them to consider aborting their unborn child because of a disability like Down syndrome. Yeah, and I get it. I've seen it. I mean, there's a young kid in Beardstown. I'm sure more than one has Down syndrome, but I personally know this kid. He's an awesome kid. He's 30 years old now, still getting along.
Mm-hmm.
He needs help, live with the mom and dad, but still, the kid can think, he can do things. So, it's fantastic. I still can't understand why people want to be so selfish as to an aborted child, especially just because they have Down syndrome. It's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Anyway.
All right.
I've got that rant out of the way.
Shoo. I was looking at an article before we came in. It's
Hello,
called
Jeannie.
Bearing Arms. It's Tom Knighton. He was referring to the Gay Pride Month here in June.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know what? He says, next month is July. the month we celebrate our nation's independence. How do we get this independence? We shot people who thought we shouldn't have it. That's how. He said, as such, I'm making a humble proposal to the pro-gun people throughout the land and propose that we make July a Gun Pride Month.
Hey, that's awesome.
There we go.
I kind of like that. Gun pride, baby.
You betcha.
Gun pride.
You betcha. He said we should have a month to celebrate our support of the Second Amendment. We should have a month where we remind people that we exist, being the pro-gun movement, that we're their neighbors, we're their co-workers, doctors, lawyers, bankers, checkouts. We're the people in your neighborhood. So that's pretty awesome. I'm all for it. July being the pro-gun.
You know, we love our
Gun Pride.
Constitution. We love the Bill of Rights, you know, and everything. But you lose that Second Amendment rights, and you basically lose your freaking country. I mean, look what's going on in Britain right now with all these acid and knife attacks. Why? Because the Limeys don't have any freaking weapons to fight back.
Yep.
Australia, their weapons are gone. Venezuela, you know,
We knew what
they
you
have no freaking weapons. They can't fight back, you know. And speaking of fighting back, not really fighting back. Hey, we got a gun-toting granny
Oh, that's right.
that helped law enforcement here. So roll that video if you would, John.
Helping to capture a suspect wanted for car theft. That grandmother, packing a rifle, held him at gunpoint until police arrived.
Go, Granny, go.
Marsha Black says Cameron Powers, who had been on the run after crashing a stolen car, walked up to her home and asked to use the phone. She says she talked to Powers from her porch while holding that rifle. You saw it right there in her hand, protecting her grandchildren who were inside watching. She says she called 911 after he inched closer to the house. When Powers got closer, even closer, she fired into the air.
He wouldn't get down, so I shot in the air, and he realized I meant business, so he got down on his knees.
Well, Limestone County deputies arrived shortly afterwards to arrest Powers. Powers is in jail this morning on a $6,000 bond.
Awesome. Hey, don't mess with Grandma who's protecting her freaking grand cubs. I guarantee you that.
Well, you know, like they said there, you know, we give always a big shout out to our law enforcement out there, but, you know, when seconds count, they're minutes away. No matter how good they are, they can only do what they can do. And she was able to fend this guy off as he come towards the house when she told him to get back, and she's standing there holding a rifle. I mean, how stupid can you be to approach somebody saying, I'll cap you if I have to.
It's like we've always said, you know, one of the reasons the United States has not been invaded is because they know people have their own weapons. You know,
Exactly.
we will fight back. I mean, it's proven, you know,
Well,
over
yes, it
200
is.
years ago.
Yep. Well, it goes back to what I said a little while ago, to ban idiots, not guns. So
Yeah. Hey, we also have another article here given to us by one of our loyal listeners, Linda Walker. Thank you very much. We have an Alabama dealership who offers Bible, shotgun, and an American flag with every
that's a
car
good
purchase
one.
now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. He says we're going to be celebrating July 4th a little bit differently this year. An Alabama car dealership is hoping to lure the 4th of July customers with a new promotion that's going viral. Chatham Ford says that every car that they sell from now until July 31st will come with a Bible, a 12-gauge shotgun. You better have, well, I don't know if they have Ford cars down there, and American flag. God's Guns and Freedom, the dealership wrote on Facebook, celebrating July 4th from now until July 31st here at Chatham Ford. Every vehicle purchased now, pre-owned, new or pre-owned, will come complete with a Bible, 12-gauge shotgun, and American flag. This is a small gift to our valued customers and an opportunity for us to celebrate our independence. It's not just the 4th of July, folks. It's our independence. Make sure you understand that. Of course, to qualify, you must be 18 or older, have a valid ID, and can pass all background checks. Oh, wait a minute, really?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
So everything is legal. We're on the up and up.
Associated with owning a firearm in Alabama. So responsible gun owners, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make that clear.
The non-idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Brian's out there. Brian Days has got a nice comment out there about our first responders and paramedics, firemen and such, and also about the family of the officer who was killed in Avon. So,
Yes, Brian, you get a pass on working out. Maybe. Okay, maybe.
oh boy.
Dang it. Get to the gym, boy. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, people, it's not easy being me when I got Chucklehead in the house
That's
with me.
right. Well, you know, I make it interesting.
Yes. I got to thank Cindy for this article here that at Minnesota High School Trap Shooting Championship, more than 8,000 students for some 300 schools gathered in June to do this National Trap Shoot thing over 9 days. RVs filled the parking lot. Sponsor tents was from the U.S. Army, Friends of the NRA, and a guy selling Donald Trump T-shirts linked the Alexandria Shooting Park. The Minnesota High School Shooting Clay Target League Championship bills itself as the largest shooting sports event in the world. So, great. That's pretty awesome. You got a high school shooting team out there shooting sporting clays. That's good. And they said 8,000 students participating. That's a pretty big shooting event there.
So they're teaching them responsibility with firearms.
Yes, they've got that down pretty well.
Who
because-
would have thought something like that?
Yeah, and they're teaching them at a young age. They're teaching them how to sportsmanlike, the good conduct thing. Because nobody's getting a participation trophy. I'm pretty sure.
But
So-
they're being taught proper firearms. I'm sure they're being taught respect of firearms or respect of people.
Sure,
Respect
absolutely.
for themselves and things like that.
Sure, you betcha. And
Dang.
8,000 people show up. That's a lot of shooting.
What a
I'll tell
capital idea.
you. Yeah, there you go.
Get it? Just go. You're killing me.
What else you got? I got one more positive thing. Here.
Oh, I got a lot more positive. Well, a few more positive things.
Let's see. Leopold's Ice Cream is holding the 9th annual I Pledge for Ice Cream project.
Ooh, I like ice cream.
You like food.
Yeah, well, that's true.
This Leopold's Ice Cream is in, I forget where it's at now. But anyway, on Mondays,
That
July
happens at
1st,
your age.
8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th from 4 to 7. If these kids younger than 12 years old come in escorted by an adult, come in and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, they get ice cream.
Ice cream! I will cite the Pledge of Allegiance for free, but I'll recite it twice for ice cream. Hey, we did a small snippet on Facebook Live here the other day on our Border Patrol, which we like so much. Down in Yuma, Arizona, the Border Patrol says 17 migrants were rescued after they crossed into a military bombing range in southwestern Arizona and became lost.
Uh-oh.
You don't want to become lost on a bombing range.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be signs around the perimeter of that thing. I've never been there.
They might
but I'm
not
gonna
be in Spanish or something.
Well, I don't know
But
what
you'd
to tell you.
think skull and crossbones. They say the emergency services in Mexico relayed a phone call to the Yuma Sector Operations Center for a group lost in the desert around 10 p.m. on Monday. The caller reported that the group was comprised of 8 adults and 9 juveniles. The Yuma station agents deployed to the area, searched for the migrants, and they were found at 11:30 p.m. about 30 miles east of San Luis within the Barry M. Goldwater bombing range. Say that a couple times.
No, you did fine.
Border Patrol officials say the migrants did not need any medical attention, were transferred to the Yuma station where they received food and water. Dang it, that Border Patrol. They gave them food and water? I can't believe they would do something
They're
that
doing
nice.
a humanitarian thing for these people where
Dang
they're not
it.
supposed to be there to start with.
Yeah.
Yes. Huh.
That's wonderful.
So,
Thank you to our Border Patrol.
well, like we talked about the other day, had they wandered out there and nobody spotted them and these people got hurt, whose fault would it be? Because I'm pretty sure they're going to blame Donald Trump
Well,
for
that's
it.
why wouldn't you?
Well,
They
yeah.
blamed Bush for everything. Well, let's blame Trump for everything.
Exactly. So you wander, you cross the border into another country where you're not supposed to be. You go to a bombing range, you get your dumb ass blown up, and it's going to be somebody else's fault, right? Wrong. You're not supposed to be there. But I'm sure, had something happened to these people, the mainstream media about there, oh my God, if Trump would have just let these people come through like any way they wanted to. No, it doesn't work that way. We have laws for a reason.
That evil Agent Orange guy.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Speaking of Trump and the border,
Oh, boy. Here we
you
go.
know, they're supposed to have a big deportation rate in 10 cities on Sunday. But as it turns out, Trump called it off because Nancy gave him a call. He gave him 2 weeks to get things straight. But also, there were some leaks in the operation that was,
Surely not.
and I think it was Cortez one of them. And I'm pretty sure there was the mayor of Seattle or Portland. And of course, all these sanctuary cities, were letting people know that, hey, there's going to be a raid coming this day, so on and so forth. So for the safety of our Border Patrol agents and ICE, he postponed it for at least 2 weeks. Now, my question is, and I disagree with the part on Nancy talking him into giving him 2 more weeks because how many she's had 30 years to get this done.
Well, yeah, absolutely. She's had 30 years to get something. Just like Dick Durbin and all them other frickin'
Exactly.
rhinos that have been in office for God knows how many years.
Exactly.
You got Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, you got Barbara Boxer, you got
Maxine Waters.
Maxine Waters, Dianne Feinstein, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, no more, and even
Barack
Barack
Obama.
Obama. No more than 10 to 25 years ago, they were all touting the same damn thing that Donald Trump is saying right now about the border and about illegal immigrants. But now that the shoe's on the other foot, Donald Trump's in office. The Republicans were, have the presidency. Now they're doing about face on it, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so evil now.
Yeah, because Hillary didn't win. Now we got to go through and I've got another article here about in New York. But anyway, yeah, it's all evil now because Hillary didn't win. We got to go through and make sure the illegals can vote, and when you're 16, you can vote. They're trying to pass that, and prisoners can vote. I mean,
Well, sure.
And
you want to change the Electoral College?
it never ends.
No,
if you
never
can't
ends.
win, change the rules, I guess. So
Apparently so. I mean, we're you're supposed to be humble in your defeats, but apparently politicians, especially on Democrats, don't know that.
No.
But anyway, hey, Nisley and Kim Kaine are out there. What's up?
Sweet. All right.
Hey, speaking of the border and illegal immigrants, I just happen to have a couple articles here.
You do too.
I had the one article, then we peeled off this other article that we're gonna go on here. Authorities say a man convicted of raping a Seattle woman tracked the victim down and attacked her 3 days after he was released from jail.
What?
Yeah, believe it or not, the Seattle Times reports police are looking for 35-year-old Francisco Carranza Ramirez, wanted on charges of assault, harassment, and intimidating witness. Authorities say 30-year-old victim was strangled and beaten outside her White Center apartment building and in front of her toddler Sunday. That's really nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the King County Sheriff's Office says the victim was moved to a safe location after she was released from the hospital. He was ordered to return to Mexico after he was released last week. Now, I can't believe he didn't do that. I really can't because, these guys are on the honor system. I just figured that they would just go right across the border and be back in their own country. He was convicted of a third-degree rape from September 28, attack. He's still believed to be in the White Center area. Now, go on to another post that we just had put on our site. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials in the Pacific Northwest are taking an unusual step of criticizing Washington State's new sanctuary state law, giving detailed examples of the danger they believe it presents to the public. I can't even imagine why. The office recently issued a press release which lists 7 cases in which ICE requested detainers on criminal illegal aliens, okay, being held in local jails, and those requests were ignored, many with tragic consequences. According to ICE, Rosalio Ramos was arrested last January for the murder and dismemberment of his victims. Can you believe that? It happened just months after he was released from a Washington jail, despite ICE's request for immigration detainer and notification of his pending release. Neither were honored. ICE also cites the case of Mexican national Martin Gallardo, who was in a Clackamas County, Oregon jail. I love that left coast. The statement said jail officials ignored ICE's request for immigration detainer and notification of release. He was released within months and was rearrested, this time allegedly for murdering his wife. And now, just as we were talking about just a minute ago, a recent case involved Francisco Ramirez, who is also in the U.S. illegally, convicted of raping a wheelchair-bound Seattle woman twice.
That's pretty bad.
Sentenced to time served and released under the judge's
Time served?
Time served and released under the judge's order that he self-deport back to Mexico. This freak rapes a wheelchair-bound woman twice, and they're going to release him and let him self-report back to Mexico.
Because that's going to happen, right?
Oh, absolutely, it's going to happen. The Washington state just passed what some immigration advocates are calling the strongest sanctuary state law in the country. It forbids local jails and state prisons from honoring ICE immigration detainers and even prevents corrections officials from even letting ICE know about pending release from the illegal immigrants. The law also instructs the Attorney General to draft new rules restricting ICE agents from making immigration arrests at courthouses and hospitals. Oh, the Democratic governor, go figure, Jay Inslee, said, "We will not be complicit in the Trump administration's depraved efforts to break up hardworking immigrant and refugee families." What the crap is hardworking about these frickin' scumbags that frickin' murder and dismember and rape people?
There's nothing good about it. I don't understand what they're even talking about here.
They're
Where do they get these ideas at?
Well, because they're frickin' warped in their mind. That's where they're frickin' at. Now, you go on from all this crap, and you go to our politicians like this frickin' idiot Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she's an idiot, folks. I'm sorry. There's no two frickin' ways about it. This woman is straight up frickin' cuckoo. She the open border faction of the United States, largely responsible for the mass flood of humanity overwhelming the southern border, issued a call to arms on Saturday to assist illegal aliens who are defying court-issued deportation orders. Now, these are people who have already come across the border, who have been told to come to to court on a certain date of time, and imagine that they haven't done it.
It's not really a shocker there.
Yeah, leading this defiant stand against the federal government and the rule of law. Take note of that. The rule of law was Alexandria Ocasio, I'm a frickin' idiot, Cortez, another Democrat from New York, who warned of the impending raids that were later called off by President Trump to give House Democrats more time to do their jobs and deal with the ongoing immigration crisis. Like you've said, they've had 30-some frickin' years to do their frickin' jobs and have failed at it. The freshman lawmaker who accused ICE of operating concentration camps on the border. And if you've seen our frickin' Facebook, we've got some frickin' people who have survived the Holocaust telling her what the frickin' deal is. She says, the Trump administration is expected to begin ICE raids across the country tomorrow, targeting people for a roundup. Now is the time for us to come together. Check in with your neighbors. Share Know Your Rights info. If you see ICE, report to United We Dream and some stupid-ass frickin' 1-800 number right there. This frickin' lady's got me irritated. If you can't, and all this crap. How in the heck can our frickin' sitting politicians do this? How can they not be held liable for this crap?
I thought they swore to uphold the Constitution.
They don't like the Constitution.
Apparently,
they're frickin' socialists. They don't want the damn Constitution.
Oh, good point. You weren't going to talk much tonight either, were you?
No, I wasn't. I was not feeling great, but now I'm kind of fired up.
Oh, and also, too, Friday, Pritzker signed the Immigration Protection Bill in Chicago, no less. And what that does is it's a House Bill 1637, which prohibits state and local law enforcement agencies from performing immigration enforcement functions on the behalf of U.S. Immigration Enforcement, or ICE. He signed Bill 2691, giving students who are undocumented immigrants but who meet all the other academic and financial qualifications access state-funded student financial aid, including MAP grants. Well, I got a question. If you're going to make law enforcement not help ICE or immigration, so aren't they law enforcement also? Aren't you, when you're an officer and you're sworn to uphold the law, I mean, illegal immigration is a federal law. Doesn't that include you? Because I'm pretty sure it does.
I wonder what would happen if one of these illegal immigrants, who, criminal illegal immigrants, would go up and they would rape or murder or dismember some member of frickin' Congress's family. And I'm not calling them to do that. Please don't do that. Or these people, out in Washington and places like that. I wonder what their reactions would be then. When it frickin' hits home on these people, what would they do then?
Well, it's just like you've seen before. Well, we're a welcoming city, and we want all these immigrants to come here, but don't put them in my neighborhood because I got a wall around my place. And
Nancy says that.
Yeah. So
and all you people who want open borders, I think we just should let these frickin' people free flow in through our frickin' country. Open your homes, open your frickin' homes to these people. Let them come there and see what happens.
And you're not going to like the results.
No. I'm not saying everybody's coming across is a freaking criminal and wants to do harm. They don't, because there are some people living in trash who want a better life.
We are kind of painting things with a broad brush here because we read these articles here, and I understand there's a lot of people that's just looking for work, but there's still a proper way to do this. And
absolutely.
Like Cortez and Brian, what you're talking about here, this guy in Arizona, I'm not exactly sure what to do with it. You're still aiding and abetting. If you're feeding and watering these people to sneak across the border, in my mind, you're still aiding and abetting. If you had somebody who robbed a bank come to your house and say, "Hey, I'm really thirsty, I'm hungry, can you feed?" and you gave them something, are you still aiding and abetting a criminal? Because it's pretty much the same thing.
Well, it's kind of what Samuel Mudd, for John Wilkes Booth.
Oh, okay.
So, he broke his leg jumping off the balcony and went to Dr. Mudd's home and he set his leg. Whether he was truly aiding and abetting John Wilkes Booth, we don't know yet. I mean, unless there's more information out there. But, yeah, they hung him.
Well, I don't think on what we're talking about on this thing Brian's talking about here is not worth all that. But
No, and we understand. You want it, the humanitarian thing to do is give people food and water. Especially kids. Oh, here we go.
go ahead, caller.
Hi, Steve.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
how you doing?
Hey, the Department of Navy here's folks. Go ahead.
Boy. And it starts.
Hi, Robin. You were so pleasant to even talk to me now after my insult last week. You guys got a great show, and hey, we want to thank you guys for putting that out about the tragedy up here in Fulton County, and it makes what you guys put out at the start of every show that much more important. To thank your officers, first responders, firefighters, because they never know if they're going to come home or not at the end of shift.
No,
That's
they don't.
exactly right.
They don't.
That's exactly right.
So yeah, absolutely. Our thoughts and prayers are out to the Avon Police Department or all police departments. This guy and his family, and it's freaking tragic. I mean, do you have any idea what's going on?
I know there was a large response. They had units from Knox County, Peoria County responded. Of course, all of Fulton County. I've heard McDonough County all responded. I've heard that there was an armored car, police armored car involved. I don't want to say anything that's probably not on the news. It's not definite, but evidently it was just a situation that went bad very fast.
Yeah, and that's
So
what can happen.
that's about-
You never know, even in small communities. You just never know what's going to happen. Somebody might be high on freaking meth. There's a lot of it around, or heroin or cocaine. I mean, there's a plethora of that crap around. So you just never know.
No, you never do. And I heard Steve talk about it, and he's absolutely right. Let's wait to see the Democrats spin this into an anti-gun issue, which is just not what it's about.
They will.
And we just wanted to thank you up here from Fulton, what you guys put out and everything. And I think Brett's got a quick word here for you.
I'm sure he does.
Sure he does.
Hey, what else is on your mind tonight, Bob?
What's that, Stephen?
What else you got on your mind this evening?
Well, what else? I heard about the wheelchair lady that was raped twice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and that, Illinois is not following federal law. Well, that's secessionism. That's 1861. It's a civil war. How can these states not follow federal laws and guidelines? We know they hate the Bill of Rights and the, Constitution, guys.
Sure they do. Absolutely they do. They hate the current voting patterns because, they got beat out in the presidency, which, blew their freaking minds completely.
Yes,
because,
it did.
the common man, the working man, had enough smarts to vote for somebody who's going to be for them.
People have to be sitting back, and he signed the marijuana bill passage. I heard he did that, which is fine. But on one hand, you want to let all the illegals in. You're making marijuana legal. You're taxing the hell out of everybody in this state.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do is, when you go to pay your gas tank fill up, thank a Democrat for that extra $10 or whatever it's going to end up costing you.
Or the extra, what is it? $50 on your license sticker renewal.
And $100 for a trailer. If
Sure.
If your 12-foot trailer used to cost you $18 to put a sticker on it, now it's $118.
Nice.
There you go. There you go. Like I said, thank a Democrat, guys, if your wallet feels one hell of a lot lighter.
Well,
but we talked about it last week. I don't foresee any of this reducing any deficit. I see
What happens every time somebody, when you raise freaking taxes? Do you think they're going to take this money and fix the freaking situation? No, they're not. They're going to take it and they're going to stuff in their pockets, or they're going to blow it on some stupid cow flatulence freaking
study.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Good thing I'm here.
Well, yeah, I am a little irritated right now. And
understand.
that's the thing. They tax you, and they tax you, and they don't do a damn thing to fix the frickin' problems. Look at the roadways in Illinois.
Oh, they're terrible. There's a reason why everybody in this area's got a four-wheel drive truck. It's because you need one.
You think they're going to take some of this money and complete Corridor 67, which I'm of the understanding has been around since the 1950s?
Ooh.
Sure. And once again, the people who don't have four-wheel drive trucks are basically sitting at home waiting for the postman to start delivering them free government checks in the mail. I'm getting worked up, guys. Great show. Continue on. Fulton County and Brett and I say hello. Take care.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Bob.
Thanks for calling
Bye.
in. We appreciate it.
We got Brandy Richards out there this evening. Got Sean Sutherland. All right.
Sutherland, what's up?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I got to take a break.
Oh, well,
I haven't been this wound up since somebody. Well, never mind. But anyway,
took your ice cream cone?
yes, took my steak Sammy.
Oh, no. Anyway, getting back to Pritzker and the immigration protection bill, he goes on to say, let's see, where'd it go? Oh, it's on this page. I'll find it here in a minute. Oh, I said the job of law enforcement here in Illinois is to protect and serve our communities, Pritzker said. We protect no one by having local police departments act as extension of ICE. That's still following the law, you knothead. What's wrong?
It's law enforcement working together.
Yeah,
You know, kind of like the CIA and the FBI and the Secret Service need to be doing,
Yeah, well,
instead of conspiring to frickin' oust one guy because they don't like him.
yeah. Oh, also, too, I got an article here posted on, it's from CNN, that the new mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, she announced that the Chicago Police Department will not cooperate with ICE, the ICE raids in Chicago, no way, and will directed the Chicago Police Department to not allow any access to their database or anything like that. So that's really just super.
There's
so,
a shocker. Another
yeah.
democratically controlled frickin' city doesn't want to cooperate with law enforcement.
Mayor Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, which joined Chicago on the list a little bit different, characterizing the impending ICE raid somewhat differently. He says, we agree criminals like dangerous gang members who come here illegally should be deported immediately. As mayor, I trust that only those individuals who represent a clear and present danger to our communities will be affected by the DHS policy. Well, I kind of get it, but there's still... Go ahead, caller.
Hey, is this the Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden show?
It is. We're going to raise taxes 1.6 trillion. We're going to wipe out in debt. Mark my words from the nudist commune.
I saw a couple of old white guys talking politics and immediately thought it was the Bernie and Joe show.
Oh boy.
Hey, did Bob put you up to that? Because that was a good one.
Yes, it's
We're
all
like the
Bob's
two old
fault.
guys on the Muppet Show.
Wow. We started at the bottom. I guess the Muppet Show was a step up from what he called us, didn't it?
Yeah. There you go.
Well, where you guys were talking about Pritzker signed a ban on ICE detention centers in the state of Illinois.
Right.
He just killed what, 50 to 100 jobs.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, isn't
'Cause
this guy for jobs for unions and things like that?
Because they were going to use the Dwight Correctional Center, weren't they?
Yeah.
Is that am I right about that? They're going to use the Dwight Correctional Center.
It was going to be up north, but I'm not quite sure it was Dwight.
I think it was Dwight. I think it's in this article here.
Well, they might as well use Dwight. It's a landmark now. They can't tear it down. They might as well use it for something. I mean, they used, like you guys all know. I mean, it used to be the women's prison up there until they moved them out. Or what about Joliet? Can they use Joliet?
Yeah.
That would be all right by me.
Well, according to Pritzker's ban, there can be no ICE centers in Illinois now.
Oh boy. Well, that was a really good
So
idea.
he just killed Joe.
Oh, you're cutting out, bud. Bob, are you doing something to Brett?
Well,
I told you not to be doing that to him anymore. Look, you Navy Army guys have got to get it together. That's all I can say. I don't know.
Still there, Brett?
Well, I'm just saying, this is a guy that's supposed to be job creator and all that crap, and he just killed 50 to 100 of them.
Sure he did.
Yeah. Well, and you look back to and the same thing you're talking about here, Brett, is when he was pulling all those stools out of his Gold Coast home to avoid $331,000 worth of taxes. Some of the labor he had working there were non-union labor. So a guy who's so pro-union and our unions back him to the hilt, he wasn't hiring 100% of his staff as union labor, which I understand. You're probably not going to micromanage everything, but he can go to the people in charge of the product and say, look, I'm a union backer. I want union labor in here, yeah, and so on and so forth. But he had some non-union labor in there also. So here again, for such a big union supporter.
I'll get off here and let you guys get back to your show. But I'll leave you with one thing.
Uh-oh.
Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he'll sit in a boat and drink beer all day.
Well, he might even catch a fish, too. You never know. Hey, it's,
I also heard that they're gonna start putting pictures of missing husbands on beer cans. You guys got anything on that?
not yet, but we'll keep our eye out.
Hey,
Okay, I'm out.
I got a question for you.
Still there?
Still there? Well, anyway. Hey, Brett, how are you and Bob enjoying the Cuddlist reunion?
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry.
I thought you was going to be a cuddlist anyway. Did you ever get your license?
Well,
or
I'll tell you what.
It's $80
they're
now, or-
making $60,000 a year. I might as well do it.
It's not like you're busy.
No. Well, I got to, keep up with you. I got to make sure
Right,
you're doing what
right.
you're supposed to do.
I know it. Boy, this is 22. I got a couple.
Go, Steve,
Okay,
go.
I got one more items on. This is from New York. New York state law allows illegal aliens to obtain driver's license is likely to enable them to vote in elections, according to state officials. Law supported by state Democrats and the big business lobby allows 725,000 illegal aliens to be eligible for driver's license when they are of age. State officials, even the Democrat state senator, say the law will effectively allow illegal aliens to vote in elections. Well,
You cannot
wait a
vote
minute.
in an election unless you are a citizen of this freaking country. There's no two ways about it. That's what our Constitution says. Follow the damn Constitution.
So in New York, U.S. citizens only need a driver's license to register to vote, and though applicants are required to swear that they are eligible to vote, state elected officials told the Post it's basically the honor system. Because, these illegals can come in there and get a driver's license and drive around because they can't read the road signs anyway for the most part. Here again, painting things with a broad brush. But they're on their honor system, like these
Like these guys that come across illegally across the border that they say,
Gonna go back to court.
Here's
Yeah.
your court date. Make sure you show up for that.
It's the honor system because it works so good,
Yes, it
right?
does. I love it.
Oh, so okay, we beat the crap out of immigration. We might want to change
well,
something else.
I got a little irritated there. I got a happy thing. Let's go to a happy thing. I don't think I've done this one yet. Hey, we got a 12-year-old girl. Ella Casano, diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called idiopathic thrombocytopenia. I hope I said that correct. Purpura, something. Whatever. When she was just 7 years old, it caused her immune system to attack and destroy blood platelets, which are cell fragments that help blood clot. As a result, she's had her fair share of IVs, having to undergo infusions every 6 to 8 weeks. Wow. Which was obviously scary at her age. And she says, when I had my first infusion, I was surprised and a little bit intimidated by the amount of tubing and medical equipment on my IV. So she set out to fix the problem so when other kids had to spend time in her position, they wouldn't feel so scared. And Medi Teddy was born.
What?
Medi Teddy, baby. She cut up a stuffed animal and used a hot glue gun and made her very first Medi Teddy, eventually patenting and manufacturing the product after many discussions with nurses about how to make the product better. The hope was to get it in as many hospitals as possible to make kids less scared when undergoing procedures. The company is actually now a registered nonprofit. Let's see.
Well, good for her.
Hang on. I got some more things. Anyway, this is a cutout of a teddy bear that goes around the IV and everything and gives it, a more pleasant look. It still has an opening in the back where the doctors can see how much fluids and everything is going in. But, this is an outstanding thing for a 12-year-old girl with this disease to do. And just because you have a disease or just because you have some type of disability doesn't mean you can't do something. Just like the Down syndrome kid that graduated high school with honors. She's Down syndrome, graduated with honors. You don't want to know what my GPA was.
I'm going to guess you didn't get high honors.
No, it had something to do with Budweiser or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, that's an outstanding thing.
Yes, it is. And we've got that on our Facebook page, too. There's a
Yes,
picture
we do.
on there. So.
Yes, we do. Whatever we talk about, we normally have on our Facebook page. So if we don't get the whole story, which, can be lengthy at times, go to our Facebook page, look it up. Oh, and one other thing. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us, getting on our pages, making your comments and everything. And feel free to share this show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You'd be doing us a favor. Thank you very much.
Hey, we got Jennifer Horton and Jim Blazing out there, too.
J-ho!
Oh, boy. Hey,
Right.
you was talking about Bernie Sanders wanting
Bernie
to
Sanders.
eliminate all
Yes.
$1.6 trillion
Yes.
of American student debt.
I'm
according
going to
to-
do it, Steve. I'm going to do it.
Good. Yeah, well, he's got to get
And you
elected
taxpayers are going to pay for it.
Democratic candidate now calls for federal government to wipe clean the student debt held by 45 million Americans, including all private and graduate school debt. The Washington Post. The proposal package also includes making public universities, community colleges, and trade schools tuition free. So I guess the teachers are going to work for nothing.
Sure, absolutely. Why not?
Well, then Bernie should work for nothing. Wonder how long that would last.
Yeah, well, the big socialist making all of his money off freaking capitalism.
He's got 3 houses, wrote a book, and
Surely.
$174,000 a year.
Sell,
salary.
take some of that money from your books, sell a couple of your multi-million-dollar homes. Hey, help pay off some of this debt yourself there, you cranky old.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, Sanders reportedly plans to pay for the lofty proposals with a tax on Wall Street,
Yeah,
which is his campaign says will generate more than $2 trillion over 10 years.
sure it is. Hey, go to our Facebook page and check out the Dan Bongino video.
There you go.
Former New York cop, former Secret Service. He knows all the ins and outs of it, and let him lay it down to you. Where they're going to get their money from. Because if they're just going to tax Wall Street, guess what? They're going to tax everybody else because everybody has something to do with whatever goes on in Wall Street and big business.
Well, you just took my thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pow, gotcha.
Wow. The tax would focus on financial transactions, such as a 0.5% tax on stock transactions and a 0.1% tax on bonds, which, like you're talking about,
Got a steel trap up here, buddy.
you're right about that.
You got something.
Something's hard as a rock up there, but you look at all these people, these middle class people like you and I. We invest a bunch of money or invest what we can in there in the stock market and these bonds and other things that are out there. And if he's going to start taxing this stuff, he's hurting the middle class, which he claims to want to protect because. Well, Bernie's just not real sharp anyway. Because if I remember correctly, he didn't draw a paycheck till he's 40 years old. So
Yeah, well, that's about the time they kicked him out of the nudist commune, I think.
I think he got kicked out of his parents' basement. What else you got over there? We got Lloyd
Lloyd
James out there.
Jean says, Bernie says everything should be 50-50. I think anytime you see Bernie, you should go take half of it. Ooh, I like that.
Hey, Lloyd, did you see that post I put out there where Bernie Sanders is talking to a baseball player? He says, this is how my plan works. If you hit a grand slam home run, the other team gets 2 of the runs also because that's only fair. Because that's a pretty good analogy there. So
Yeah, Linda Walker, that's great. She says a friend of hers and husband just paid off $47,000 of debt, including her student loans, in 8 months and are debt-free. They did it by sacrificing and working hard to set goals.
setting goals and working.
Yeah,
That's
isn't
a
that
crazy
something?
thought, isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy.
That's kind of what we did, didn't it?
Yeah, they didn't take a freaking handout, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times when people need a handout. We
And
understand
I'm all
that.
for that.
But for crying out loud, this is what they're teaching our kids to not do.
Exactly. And these people paid off $47,000 worth of debt. So now, not only are you paying off your child's debt, you're paying off everybody else's child's debt over time also.
Mm-hmm.
Because once your debt's paid off, then you're still paying on everybody else's. So it's a never-ending cycle. You're paying for everybody else. It's socialism, bottom line. So
You're kidding me, really?
no.
Wow. Hey, we posted an article on Social Security on our website. I'd like to go through it here, but I can't. There's just too much. It kind of explains everything that's going on because by 2043 or whatever it is, Social Security is insolvent or is insolvent now, and they want to pass what is called a new bill. Where the heck is it? Anyway, it's a new bill called 2100, and they want to massively raise freaking taxes to fund Social Security, which everybody knows the money's never going to go in there because they're going to go use it to do something stupid.
Give Iran money in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
a big pallet in the middle of nowhere.
And this is supposed to start in 2020, rising incrementally from 12.4% to 14.8% by 2043. And it goes on to explain things on here about Social Security and everything and what they think, what the Heritage Foundation thinks they should do. Just be big and tax everything or do some other stuff to make it smaller and people actually make more money doing this. than trying to completely fund Social Security through taxes because, like we've said, we know it's not going to go there
No,
because there's absolutely too much corruption.
well, that's why there's no money there now, as they stole it. Just like
Well,
they
that's
stole
why
pension
the
system.
state of Illinois pensions and the teachers' retirement system are freaking
Exactly,
broke. You know,
exactly.
they want to lay everything at the state employees' feet about why the pension system is so broke. We were paying 8.5% into our pension system, and these freaking crooks, and that's what I call them, went in there and shoveled the freaking money out. And didn't put it back.
And they blamed it on us,
Yeah.
the state employees, because
But they promised.
yeah, just like those illegals are going to go back to court too, right?
That's right. That's right.
It's not working so well.
Good. I'm glad I didn't have to read all that.
Yeah, me too. Rockford, Illinois. Stories read by drag queens cause uneasiness.
You think?
For the first time, the city of Rockford is celebrating the LGBTQ Pride Month, but one of its efforts, Drag Queen Story Hour at the public library, has upset some residents, as well it should.
Well, it would me too.
Parent Sandy Ware told the Rockford Register-Star having a big hairy man scantily dressed as a woman promoting homosexuality and gender confusion is not appropriate for children ages 3 to 8 years old.
It's not.
No
it's
kidding.
Like we've always, if you want to dress up like this, if this is what you want to do, go do it.
Don't
but
care.
it does not need to be in this freaking arena.
You know what? Kids 3 to 8. Let me finish the article here.
Okay. Well, stop it then. Keep going.
Are you done talking?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Rockford Public Library Trustee Board President Paul
interrupting me.
says he and other board members at first were uncertain about the program. He noted such programs are being held in libraries and other venues throughout the nation. He says the title gets your attention, but after library staff explained the program, he and others became more comfortable with the idea. It says it goes on. Let's see. Assistant Library Director said that the stories being read are about individuality and about being different. Well, they definitely got the being different part right. But here's the thing: these kids are 3 to 8 years old. They're you know what? They're just getting a grasp on life. Their mind is being shaped, and you're throwing all this confusion right in the middle of stuff that really doesn't amount to hill of beans. It's your opinion that you're forcing on these kids. Why are you doing that? Let them learn to read and write and social interaction. How about that? Rather than confusing them with transgenderism, homosexuality, or whatever else. If that's the way you want to be, like you just said, that's fine. Go do it at your place. Don't force it on these 3 to 8 year old kids. Don't force it on me or anybody else, because I'm not forcing my ways on you.
Well, it's like these young grade school kids now that they're saying, I think they've passed laws where parents can help them have gender reassignment surgery at this young of age. It's just totally blows my mind. These kids are not mature,
You're at 3 and 8, between 3 and 8 years old, especially at 3 years old, you're still learning to tie your shoes. Okay, so
I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. Frickin' people are being given over to depraved minds. I'm telling you.
well, I got some more articles.
Oh boy.
Did you know?
No, I didn't.
Illinois, well, I'm about to inform you. Illinois and Wisconsin.
You're such a plethora of knowledge, Steve.
Well, that's because I wrote it all down. I found
Okay.
it's on the internet. It's got to be true.
That's right.
They're flying June is Gay Pride Month.
Right,
The
right.
rainbow flag and everything. So Wisconsin and Illinois are flying the rainbow flags over their state's capital and other governmental buildings. Now,
But didn't they take down the POW flag for that?
I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure they did.
First off, it should never be on a governmental building to start with, in any way, shape, or form. Okay, this is a government building, not the Gay Pride building. Okay, and here again, you can be whatever you want to be on your time at your place. The governmental building is not it. They should not be flying a flag up there. Here's the other part is, aren't you separating people, the LGBTQ community, and putting them on top of the Capitol building, like making them bigger than the rest of the people? I mean, is there a heterosexual month? Are we going to celebrate? Is there a recognition for that? Because I know there's
believe
not. So why? And then you want to tell us that Donald Trump is a divisive president, and you're doing shit like this? Really?
Well, he's a horrible guy, Steve. Agent Orange,
Yeah. Well, he also the embassies across the world over there. They contacted the Trump administration about flying the rainbow flag at the embassies, and he said no.
Yeah, you want to fly the rainbow flag? That's great. Fly it on your freaking house. Fly it in your car. I don't give a crap what you do with it. It doesn't belong in our governmental buildings. It just doesn't. And that goes any flag. It's not government freaking
Related.
Related.
Exactly. Exactly. And you talked about the POW flag. That's that's our people in service
You know,
that
I mean,
were
why
defending our
is it?
country.
Why is this bunch more special than any other bunch?
That's exactly my point. Yes. Yes. Very good.
You know, I get one every now and then.
But it's very aggravating why you elevate one group above another and then claim somebody else is divisive.
I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, this will get your blood pressure going.
Man, you have got a lot of paperwork over there.
I know. Well, I didn't think he was going to come on tonight, so I started printing a whole bunch of crap. So it's a good thing you're here because I didn't have to read through all this shit. During his
This
house.
is a family show. Don't say the S word. I'm sorry. Go ahead. He gets mad at me, folks. I'm sorry, Steve.
During
I'm
House
sorry.
quiet, busy here. During House Judiciary Subcommittee hearing to discuss adoption of H.R. 40, a resolution which calls for the commission to study and develop reparations proposal for African Americans, actor Danny Glover expressed his support for the bill due to damages inflicted by enslavement and post-emancipation and racial exclusionary policies. The proposal would also demand the U.S. government formally apologize for reparations of the gross human rights violation and crimes against humanity on the African American slaves and descendants. We've been down this road before. This reparations that they're talking about. Well, Danny Glover says in this article here he's worth $40 million. So if he wants to pay reparations to slaves, then maybe
Here's
he
the
should
deal.
lead the way.
Who was I seeing the other day? If anybody should pay reparations to slaves, it should be the frickin' Democratic Party. Because they are the party of slavery. There's where all this crap is started. And then you got to go back and ask, maybe these Muslim warlords who took these other African people hostage and sold them to the white people, are they going to pay anything?
No, we
Are the
can't
Native Americans going to pay any money because they held black slaves themselves?
That's not good. It's just the evil white guy.
If you don't believe me, look up your freaking history because it's there.
And yes, it is. It's just the evil white guy that's got to pay.
Nobody should be paid any amount of money for an ass beating that somebody else took. It's not going to change a damn thing.
And you didn't issue the ass beating yourself, so.
You know, was all that a travesty? Absolutely.
Sure.
We do not condone slavery of any freaking type.
And then we're going around and tearing down the Confederate statues, and we're erasing history. So, and we've talked about this before.
If you erase history, don't it repeat itself?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
I was just curious. I know you're the man of multi-knowledge.
Well, I got a lot of paperwork over here to prove I'm full of knowledge over here because I wrote it all down. Well, actually, I printed it off. But no. And like you said, slavery was a black eye on our country's history. But there are no slaves left. There's no slave owners left. Why is it still an issue? And don't you people in Congress have something better to do than worry about reparations for people that aren't here?
Yeah, might you go,
Well, there's a border crisis. I'm pretty sure we had some video.
There's
If you go to, or
sex trafficking crisis at the border. Maybe you could do something about that.
well, wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe not.
We've said before on this show, Ashton Kutcher, an actor, is doing everything in his power to stop sex slavery, the sex trade.
Now, how
This is
often?
this is a Hollywood person who's actually doing a fantastic thing, and we can't thank him enough for what he's doing for it.
Absolutely. And how often do you see him on the news talking about this stuff? No. It's always people like Alyssa Milano and Danny Glover and all the left wing agenda stuff. But it's not something that's actually going to Ashton Kutcher's out there doing his thing, which is fantastic because it's a huge issue.
Fantastic.
Law enforcement always can use some help, whether you're with ICE or local law enforcement, either way. But
that's another thing. They got all these people coming across the border, and they're snatching these freaking young girls, young boys up and selling them into slavery, sex slavery. I don't get it.
I know. But we don't want to talk about that because, well, it doesn't fit the agenda.
Hey, look, we're out of time already.
Yeah, we got Deborah Holmes Smith out there, Deborah Jackson Croy.
That Deborah Holmes is a nice lady.
Absolutely.
Wait, that's not
Absolutely.
what you said yesterday. Shut up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Deb.
Oh, hey, Brian put on here too. He said, "Why didn't we hear anything about the guy who set himself on fire and walked across the White House lawn?" I didn't hear anything about that.
No, I don't think I did either.
Oh, well, don't know.
Must have been one of them Hindu guys. They like to do that.
I don't know. I know. I know it's not me. I just don't like playing the fire that much.
Heck no.
Anyway, folks, we're out of time. Greatly appreciate all the input. The people tuning into the show, people sending us text messages and things. What we got online here is pretty awesome. Got some calls. Always appreciated.
Heck yeah. It's awesome.
Hey, and remember, share this page,
Sure.
because you know. At one point when we first started doing this, I thought, why would people listen to us? Can sit there and ramble on and on? And then I watched The View. I'm like, no, I know why.
They watch
Now-
The View. They surely will watch us.
Exactly. And they're making tons of money, and we get squat.
Yeah. Anyway, finish your spiel.
Okay, well, we're out of time. Remember, if you love your country, you love your freedom, thank a veteran.
Absolutely.
Thanks for turning on and tuning in.
God bless America.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.